Kevin, what's the schedule? We got two top 25 hoops teams. We've got volleyball on Friday. Like, are you spread thin, or you glad that with Nebraska volleyball at home, it's at least a little convenient?
Yeah, volleyball at home definitely changes the game from a schedule standpoint, coverage standpoint here in Lincoln. I guess I would answer by sounding like a coach. We're taking it one day at a time, not one game at a time, one day at a time, because we're trying to make it through today with the focus, of course, being the big game at Pinnacle Bank Arena. And then tomorrow, all the volleyball teams roll out onto the court at the Devaney Center for practice and interviews. And then the next day, it's high school hoops, in addition to Nebraska volleyball playing that late night match, maybe around 8:30 at night or so. And what's with the whole 30 minutes after the match is done? I kind of get it, but set a time.
Yeah. Hey, roughly around 8 o'clock. What?
We'll get there when we get there.
Tough.
Yeah.
Like if Nebraska, let's flip this. If Nebraska were to have played the first of the two matches in Lincoln on Friday, and then the following match would have said 30 minutes after the first one, that really has a window of about 90 minutes of when it could start, because Nebraska has won matches this season in an hour and 12 minutes. So, like, if I'm trying to plan my day and I'm a fan of Louisville, say, because that's a team that's involved in the second match, I don't know, do I need to be by the TV around like 7:45 or 9:30? Like, it's wild.
So, you know what's funny? You bring this up, Kevin, because I think about this all the time with boxing, like with the main events and stuff. And I'm like, okay, I wonder if they tell them it's like, you will not go on before this time, but it could be any time after that. Because especially like if I'm going somewhere and I'm like, may or may not get my head beat in, literally, I feel like I would want to have like a very specific schedule of how I want to feel and be prepared at that point. As opposed to being like, oh, just kidding. The four guys ahead of you got knocked out. You're on 2 hours early. Good luck, bud. Like, I'd no. Be like, I'm going to sit here till 10. Sorry.
You're like, I just showed up. I'm getting my wrist tape right now.
Yeah, like, it's like we're not even in the neighborhood.
Hey,
right.
I think, you know, one thing I will like on the other side, I like afternoon or unconventional start times for sports.
Ooh, I do like daytime sports. I love daytime sports.
Like daytime volleyball and
or late night. If I get like a post 10 p.m. start, like that's why Pac-12 Dark was great.
I'm a fan of being able to watch at all out. That was the only good thing I can think of about being out in Pasadena. Kevin was like waking up and watching, you know, Penn State and Indiana, right? Like I was like, oh, I could get used to this. So I do like that about volleyball. As you and your household are accustomed to, you could play all day if they'd let you.
Oh, well, we have played all day before, and you know, your entire day a shot. You're like, well, that was Sunday. I did nothing but sit in the gym. I went to the concession stand 7 times, and I spent over $50. You know, we've done that.
Were you interviewing DC candidates while you were there?
You never know. They're at youth sporting events apparently, so you never know where you might see a defensive coordinator candidate. But yeah, I am pro all day sports viewing. That's good for the West Coast. It does apply to the East Coast. It just keeps you up till like 3 a.m. That's why, you know, that first day of March Madness is so fun, because you get the game at 11 a.m. and you're watching until late at night. And you know, I even think back to when they used to do the 24 hours of hoops. Opening day, they would have basketball from sun up to sundown. And, you know, Major League Baseball has kind of shifted away from that. I used to love that about opening day. You would catch like the Reds, you know, throwing out the first pitch at like 10:45 a.m. Central Time. And then, of course, you'd have a handful of teams on the West Coast playing at 9 o'clock Central Time. And you could take that past midnight sometimes. So, I don't know. I don't want to launch into the commentary about the way the volleyball postseason is formatted in terms of its time structure and television watchability, but there are some issues that, you know, could be made, arguments that could be made there.
All right, let me ask you something. A level of didn't see that coming, but I'm going to ride the wave. Just how dominant Nebraska volleyball is statistically, right? We knew what they were coming in with, but just that they've answered the dinner bell. top 25 in both women's and men's basketball, or the fact that coaching hires and changes have happened as quickly as they have this offseason for Nebraska football?
Ooh, you hit me with like a multiple choice question, so you've got my brain working a little bit here. I'm gonna eliminate volleyball because I don't think anybody's surprised that they're 32-0 and in the Sweet 16, so they're out. I'm gonna take out
pretty
Nebraska.
dominant, Kev.
Yeah, they are, but they're really good. I mean, look at who they have on the team.
Yeah, that opponent's hitting percent. Like, pick a weird analytics stat, and it's like, wait, what? Whether you're leading the country by 30%, like, I don't know, man. I thought they were good. They're incredible.
They are incredible. You know, last match in the tournament, they hit 265, and everybody acted like they hit 081. It was wild. Like, no, 265 still will play. That wins you a lot of matches.
Yeah.
Okay, so back to your question. We're taking out volleyball because they're so good. We're not surprised that they're in the Sweet 16. I'm going to eliminate Nebraska women's basketball because I had a feeling that this team, just the makeup of that team and the style Amy wants to play, they've got some shooters. So I'm not surprised Nebraska women, and their schedule hasn't been overly challenging early in the season. I'm not surprised that they are 10-0. So that leaves me with Nebraska men's basketball being ranked in the top 25, or just the furious last 9 days of Nebraska football without a game and things happening. And I'm going to take that because it's not like it was a train wreck of a regular season. They went 7-5. Huskers reach a bowl game. Things did kind of come unraveled late in the year, and that prompted some of the changes. I guess I didn't see the volume. I didn't see three guys getting dismissed, you know, when we were leaving Memorial Stadium following the loss to Iowa.
And he's not dragging his feet either.
I think that's probably it. It's like, you know, John Butler got fired on Monday, and that was like, whoa, okay, I guess we're not messing around. And then it's the subsequent firings within an 8-day span. 3 assistants let go in 8 days after a 7-5 regular season, and the team's trying to, you know, transition and get ready to play in the Las Vegas Bowl. That, to me, I think is a little bit surprising. Just the timeline, the 3, and then one of those being Donovan Raiola, too.
Kevin, as you go into this weekend here, what are you looking forward to the most? What do we got going on?
Volleyball. Well, yeah, I'm looking forward to volleyball, but I already have an idea of what's going to happen. So there's not a whole lot of fascination.
I was going to say, I know that
you guys,
I know we can't fast forward, and I'm sure the team is not thinking this way. But if you're a Nebraska volleyball fan and you're sitting here after what the last 2 years have been, like, the season starts next weekend.
You guys, can I just say something? And then you could, Kevin,
I know
I totally give you grace because I think the world of you. Ravi's different.
I get none of that grace.
But I think I have a different level of vantage point because I think it's incredibly difficult to have super high expectations and then to be on the path to achieve them. I think we kind of take it for granted. 95 was significantly more difficult for me than 94 because of the day-to-day stay sharp kind of thing. Like, Nebraska's level, when your hitting percentage is 20 some odd points better than anybody else in the country, or opponent's hitting percentage, or like we're like, oh, Nebraska's supposed to be good. It's still hard.
Can that be true? Can all that be true? Because I think it is.
I was asking Kevin.
Well, I'm gonna give a little more context for Kevin here. Can that be true?
Thank you, Ravi.
Oh,
give me some depth here.
Can that be true for the team and the fans and for everybody? And it also be true that until they get past the point that they stumbled the last 2 years, when we also thought they were very good and very dominant,
correct,
and done that it doesn't really resonate for us until they get over that point.
Yeah, I think you're right. You know, and I don't know if the way that we look at that question has changed over the course of the season, the dominance of it. Mm-hmm. You know, if Nebraska's winning in 4 sets and, they have a bunch of deuce games over the past 3 months. Then maybe it's like, yeah, let's just get to the Final Four and see what happens. But no, it's the fact that they have won so dominantly. And I'll share this with you guys too. I can't tell you the number of interviews I've been in this year with Nebraska volleyball, either players or coaches, in the phrase championship or bust comes out of the interviewee's mouth. That is wild to me.
It's crazy. They've attacked it head on.
They don't hide behind it. Sometimes, there's the elephant in the room, and both the interviewer and the interviewee kind of has to tap dance, and you're like, I don't know how I'm supposed to approach this question. And then you get the body language and the verbal message of, I don't know how I want to say this because it might get misinterpreted. No, everything is out on the table. Bergen Riley will say, we know Danny has championship or bust expectations this year, and she's handled it well. We know we have championship or bust expectations, and we keep coming in every single day trying to get better. It's like, that's this team. It's like, I don't want to call them the dream team of college volleyball, but kind of the way that they have carried themselves and performed, like they've been a little bit of a dream team. There was a team, I think this was 2008, Penn State went the entire year without losing a set. And I want to go, and Nebraska took them to 5 in the national championship. Maybe I'm wrong on that. Maybe it's Final Four.
Yeah, I think it was the Final Four.
I need to go back and do a deep dive on that Penn State team. What was their messaging? How did they carry themselves? And, what were some of the narratives surrounding that team? Because tell me the last college volleyball team that has operated at this level of dominance. And I think that I would have to go back to maybe that 2008 Penn State team. In Nebraska, they pushed them in the Final Four, and that's pretty remarkable. So it just because you can get to the Final Four and have dominance, it doesn't make you immune. And I think that's maybe one thing that this team has, they've continued to level up. And even when Danny said last week, we didn't have a very good practice, we're like, okay, so your not so good practice is probably like a desired practice for 99% of college volleyball teams, across the nation. So, I'm looking forward to Nebraska volleyball because I said all along, make sure you enjoy the ride because this team is pretty special. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm also, if Nebraska men's basketball wins tonight against Wisconsin, being 10-0 and then going on the road to face a ranked Illinois team on Saturday, that is a matchup that really fascinates me because playing in Champaign is not easy. And it's going to be one of their first true road opportunities. And it's going to be in a tough environment. And Illinois is pretty good. Look at what they did last night at Ohio State. And then, they beat Tennessee over the weekend in Nashville. And so I 3 o'clock Saturday. So I'm really happy that volleyball is playing on Friday and Sunday because it opens up the window to watch some hoops on Saturday.
Yeah, I don't want to fast forward just because, I watched Wisconsin and Marquette the other day. And listen, Marquette's struggling and struggled against Valpo, and Wisconsin scored 96 on them. It's a super tight line tonight, even though it's at home. But the weird thing about Illinois is I'm pretty tempted. We've talked about this for the last 10, 12 days on the show, Kevin. I'm pretty tempted to put Illinois in the Michigan State, Purdue, Michigan discussion. Most the smarter people, which is just about everybody I talk to, won't let me do that yet. But by the end of this season, and I get, Underwood and the coaching prowess and what has come with expectations in Illinois, by the end of the season, they're going to be in that discussion. That is a really, really good basketball team, and they're only going to get better. But, man, if Nebraska gets by Wisconsin tonight, I think I'm going to allow myself to think, you know what, this stuff is portable. Because it looks like it's portable on the surface. I just haven't seen it. As the competition obviously ramps up, I'll know more. But it appears that their ingredients are portable, right? Well-defined roles. They defend. Rink Mast, I think, is going to be a tough matchup for just about anybody he sees. Like, it seems like what they're doing is portable.
I would agree with that, just because, like you mentioned, there are a lot of the roles thing can't be overstated, right? The fact that, Sam Hoiberg doesn't need to score to be happy. Cale Jacobson does not need to score to be happy. My question is, as they get into the Big Ten, the defense of the opponent is going to get a little bit better, and there's going to be close games. Who's getting the ball in crunch time? And it can't just be we're going to give the ball to Rink. You have to have option B, and I would assume that's Price Sanford. Can you score in crunch time? And I think one thing that's going to be really important tonight against Wisconsin is you have to limit second chance opportunities. You can't let them get offensive rebounds, because if you give them extra possessions, then it's going to be a really it's just going to be tough to try to beat the Badgers in that regard. But what helps, I think, with this matchup, I would think the coaching staff would feel the same way, is I think Wisconsin is a little bit similar to Kansas State. John Blackwell, he's a bucket. So is PJ Haggerty. I think that there's some carryover for what they did against Kansas State to Wisconsin. Good guard play. So that's where my confidence lies with this Nebraska matchup tonight against Wisconsin, is the fact that I think the Badgers mirror Kansas State a little bit, and also they're at home with all this momentum. And I think the crowd is going to be really charged up. 8 o'clock tip-off, Wednesday night, Pinnacle Bank Arena, Huskers coming off the win against Creighton. So it's got some really special ingredients for this to be a fun night in downtown Lincoln.
We cry about volleyball start times. Can we stop having games at 8?
I hate the 8 p.m. tips. I hate it.
Is that an old man take, Kevin? Because what's wrong with 7? Can I get it in a different window?
I'd watch a 6.
What? Are you cool with that, Kevin?
I'm totally cool with it. Florida UConn last night got done at 10:30, guys. That was awesome.
Which was an unbelievable game. I told Ravi this morning off air, I said, Florida, I have to give them a pass because of their schedule. They've lost to some really good teams. But, man, UConn is a monster with how they can. And solo ball might actually be good.
To be determined.
Hold off.
To be determined.
Guys. Listen,
I don't know.
I'm mortified. You two have been in lockstep this entire segment. I'm going to go pout.
Great minds think alike. You need to get over the 8 o'clock start time, DB. I mean, that's totally fine.
Okay.
I mean, it gives you more basketball deeper in the night. You can actually turn on the local news right after that game is done. So thank you for your viewership. I'm fine.
I don't even know why I'm crying. It's not like I'm asleep.
I was gonna say, you don't sleep anyway. What are you talking about?
Well, it cuts into my bad binging hours, right? I can't start until after 12.
That's true. You can't watch weird Russian Rambo until all the games are over.
I'm on this. I'm on this new series, Kevin. It's called "It's All Her Fault." So some son gets kidnapped. I'm all in on that.
Well, God bless you for having time to watch some weird show like that. But anyway, I don't know why all the games have to start at 6 and at 8 o'clock. The Big Ten and the Big Ten Network, I really appreciate that they start games at 5 and 5:30. Sometimes they have weird start times, but it staggers them. And that would be my push for the scheduling of college basketball, because we like to flip, right? Especially if you can quad box now with YouTube TV.
I just wish they'd get bigger windows, because games aren't over in 2 hours.
No, they're never over in 2 hours. I'm fine with 8 o'clock starts, but not everything at 8 o'clock. Give me an 8:15 in there. Give me a 7:45 in there, because then we can kind of come up with a college basketball red zone kind of thing, because you're going to get one finish to the next finish. And sure, if this ever came through, the very first day, everything's going to be a 35-point game and no one wants to watch the finish anyway. That's the way it would go.
All right. Kevin Sjuts, 10-11 News in Lincoln. Smartest guy we've talked to all day. We appreciate it as always, Kevin. We'll talk to you later.
Thanks, Kev.
All right, Davey, I still love you.
I love you too, buddy. That's my guy.
All right. See you, boys.
That's Kevin Sjuts from 10-11 News in Lincoln.
Nice.
No.